Oh yeah, I get to keep this. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So this will be fun. You may have heard of it before. We have like a little cooking class called the 3 Day Monk. Oh yeah, it's something I've done like
We're
here and there.
starting in a
Today
couple
will
of
be like a little
minutes,
quick
so
breakdown
we
on like
just
the
let
3 Day
the
Monk, how you can like
people walking in. We
contribute
have people
to.
walking in the door. So if
Yeah,
you're already
so
joining
we'll do
us
that.
on YouTube, another
We
couple of
haven't done them in a
minutes, we'll
while,
go ahead and
but
formally
a few
start.
years
Thank you.
back we did quite a few, and then when we were in Northeast 23rd, we did like 2 or 3 little like sets of it. But that one Lena made a little more complicated. It became like a four part course. The early one was just it was just a quick kind of one off. So yeah. So I'll do some of the stuff on that because I was thinking like knife demo for an hour. I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll have to like bring this all together a little bit. So yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for coming down for this. Nice to see you.
She's like
Tells you where you're going.
she's the Insta monitor. I don't
Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah. We don't mess with that much either, but here we are. Yeah. Hey guys. Hey. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. It's been days. Thanks for coming down. Yeah, we got a fun little because instead of doing a demo, I'll do a demo of course, but it's like more of a class. So you can kind of do this thing, and then I'll set up a thing with her where if you want, we have like a little kind of little doc with some of these kind of like recipes we talk about, and then we can send it to you. So yeah, some fun. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, good morning. All right, if you don't mind, Gary, I know it's very hard to separate yourselves from drinks in the back and talking to people.
One thing in a
Welcome.
little while, do you think someone can bring me the fish that's in the refrigerator?
It's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome to our site here in the Steelport factory and Northeast 36th and Sandy Boulevard in Portland. And welcome to people that are watching us live on YouTube. Again, thank you for taking the time on Saturday to join us here, especially a beautiful day today. Another gorgeous day we have had, unusually warm, which is kind of a not complain here at all. Can start that. We have a nice crowd here gathering, so thank you. Take care of a little bit of housekeeping before we turn over to today. I'm Ron Kormai. I'm CEO and founder of Steelport. Today on the floor, I'm joined with my co-founder, Eitan Zayas, and our team members that you can see them wearing a Steelport shirt around. So I think you can see, and some that are not are incognito, and we give them a hard time later in a proper manners. This is part of today's event is part of our regular series of chef demos day that especially in Portland, we're so blessed to have amazing chefs and not only a great chef in food, but amazing people on their own. But they're very busy doing what they need to be doing, which is cooking food, running the business, and things like that. And it's very hard for them to take the time and an hour and spend in a kind of a casual setting, answering questions and going through the details type thing. Is a need that as a customer of their establishment, I always had, let's sit down, what is the trick, what is the behind that? And also when I started talking to the chefs, they also had the same need of being able to talk and connect with clientele, with the customers that kind of they view it mostly as an extension of their own family. So we have started this series. I think we're going to go to our second year that Emma is leading on our behalf here. And in December, we're blessed that we actually starting to do every week. Normally we have it once a month, last Saturday of a month. And in December, we have every week. Today is the third one in the series. So we have one more next week, which will be with Tyler Mellick, which is a founder and the head guy at Salt and Straw Ice Cream. So I'm personally excited about seeing what this knife used in making ice cream. So no challenge, Ryan. You might be a little bit, yeah. So that might be fun. And then a secret thing that recently we found out that I guess I don't know if you guys know Ian Williams from Stock Coffee. He has threatened to join in and do a little bit of avocado, which is basically coffee and ice cream. So that's going to be a nice surprise treat. And if you guys know Tyler and Ian, I'm dreading trying to manage those two at the same place. It's just going to be a fun. That's got a nice way of ending the thing. So that's a background, logistic wise. Additional topic when we are done here, we're targeting around 12 o'clock. Behind you, they have a wonderful local gin with the founder and gin maker himself back there, so you can see them. And tonic waters. We're released to Doppler again back there. It's one of the great partners that we have had for a while. So make sure you stop by and make a connection type thing. I think one more logistics I have to take care of is that there's a giveaway involved that we'll do a drawing at the end. Is that correct, Debbie? And if people haven't got a chance to register yet, they can register.
There's a review online with a QR code you can scan. And if you show us that you left a review, I'll enter your name in the drawing as well.
And the drawing is for additional great event at the restaurant. Nodoguro is $50, I think. Is that
It's $85.
$85? Oh, okay.
Sake pairing. Yeah.
Did you get my name on the list, Emma? All right. So without further ado, what we are here for is really joining our chef Ryan Roadhouse here that we are blessed to have. I just jumped from end to the beginning because most of us have got connected with the wonderful restaurant Nodoguro through the fame it has gotten since it opened up in 2014, which I didn't realize it has been pretty much nominated every single year except for 2020 for James Beard chef. So it's chef of Northwest, and that's pretty unusual. It's not usual to get one, but
0 wins though.
They're keeping it. It's like Oscars. How many people have been nominated for Oscars? You're never satisfied. Jeez. I guess that's a sign of a good chef. If you're satisfied, just close the shop and go home. So that's like that. So a little bit of background on Ryan as he goes through. He's going to describe the cooking and what is the tricks, and you can ask him questions. An interactive session. But I personally fall in love with the history and how people got here type thing, especially with Ryan's being born in Illinois near Chicago, ending up finishing up high school in Canada, which is similar to myself. I spent a year studying in Canada. And then how do you go from that to become a well-known and very respected Japanese chef? And I think that background takes you through, has taken Ryan through Denver, learning and studying under great chefs there, which is just recently became a one-star Michelin restaurant, spending time in Japan, spending time in around the country, Los Angeles, and then being pulled in Northwest in early 2010s, and in 2014 starting his restaurant. So again, I'm going to get a step out of the way because this is all has been boring, and people are saying, where is Ryan? Let me turn it over. So I turn it over to you. Thank you
so much. Thanks everyone for spending your Saturday morning here with us, and thanks for Steelport for having us down. We recently became familiar with these Steelport knives, and as you can see, they are beautiful, and I've gotten used to using it, and I thought that for a demonstration, the best way to do is approach this as like a cooking class, and basically look at it as a way where the knife is like the only cooking tool we really have for this class. So we have done this class in the past. We call it the 3-day monk. 3-day monk is a phrase that means someone who can't really commit to something or put in a lot of time and get good at it. So the idea is that we created a class. Of course, a lot of our dishes have a lot of nuance and complexity, but we're like, what's kind of the cheat code on really easy, really fast, getting to a lot of these really tasty dishes with minimal tools. The way that we set this up generally is we have all items that you can find at Uwajimaya out in Beaverton. Generally, people think that we're using a lot of like really exotic things, which is true, but everything we're going to do here is made with these items. And you can get these at Uwajimaya, no problem. And then we have some basic tools, and then of course the knife. The Steelport did a post about this event, and we collaborated on the post. If anyone goes to that post and puts in a comment 3-day monk, then I'll DM you, like we have a little recipe guide that can go along with a lot of these things. And we also do have a full-fledged class that we offer from time to time. So first thing is we got a few dressings. We're going to do sashimi. We're going to do a cold tofu dish and some cucumber. And then each one's got like a little dressing that you can easily put together. So we'll start off with the cucumber. So the cucumber dish. So a lot of people think that when you do your cucumber salad, you should slice like super, super, super thin. But I would suggest, in line with the 3-day monk idea, cut a little thicker. Leave a little body. And then basically you're going to take this and then you can transfer it to a little mixing bowl. Okay. So then we'll just, this is aragio salt. This is kind of a fine grain. You can get this down at Wajimaya. Just take a little bit of that and then just give this a really generous sprinkle on here. Then from there, just massage this. And the salt will do a lot of this work for you, tenderizing this thing, making it kind of softer. And then you can just set that aside and then wait a little bit. So to put this together, we're going to do a basic dressing called amazu. I already put this together here for that. But basically, you can take this Miscan vinegar and then cut it 50% with water. And then you kind of take off the edges with a little sugar. And now you basically have a classic Japanese sauce called amazu, or sweet vinegar. So that will be in the guide exactly how to put that together. So while this is working, you can see it's starting to pull like a little bit of water here. And this will make these soft. And that's why if you cut them thicker like that, you're going to end up with more texture. And then you won't have all those like super thin little, knife work to worry about. So we'll revisit that one. Okay, so next up we've got just straight up koikuchi soy sauce. I personally like the Yamasa brand. There's an organic one too. This is not the organic, this is the Madudaizu, but there's an organic one that's really, really good. It's only a couple dollars more than this one, and it's beautiful. And that's the one we use for most of our base sauces. But we generally have a house-aged soy sauce where we'll use this as a base, bring in some other layers, and kind of like age that, and adds a lot more body and things like that. But for the purpose of this recipe, we're just going to use the koikuchi. Back to the 3-day monk, just the koikuchi you can get at the store. First, so from there we'll take tofu, and this is our local ota tofu. And then all you're going to do is just take a couple slices of this and put it on the plate here. One cute little one I showed online we can do is the kashigata. So the idea on this is that you want it to look like a one of those kashigata wooden molds for confection. But nice little trick for the house if you want to do it. In terms of the purpose, though, it's essentially so when you take this soy sauce and you drip it in, it kind of catches those ridges. It creates a nice little design. Then with your hiyako, that's the base of it. Just cut some fresh tofu, put a little fresh wasabi. But then from there, it's nice to get some, kind of garnishes for it. Fresh wasabi, this is a local fresh wasabi. It's a really nice one. You can also get this at Uwajimaya. And then just grate this on your grater. This is a ray skin or shark skin grater, but you can totally use one of these. And I'll show you a little trick on using one of those in a minute to make it work better for you. So you got wasabi, can go up top there. But I feel like if we really want to dress this up, it is an exotic ingredient, but you can totally find it at Wajimaya as well. This is myoga. So this is Japanese ginger blossom. So So you can do a lot of different cuts on this, but all you really need to do is just come from the side. Build it as a little garnish there. And then we have katsuobushi. This is a lot of foundational piece to a lot of things that we do, from stocks to sauces, dressings. It adds so much umami, depth of flavor. So I think just to finish this up, take a little fresh wasabi here. Grab some of our myoga. And then let's top it off with a little bit of this katsuobushi.
What is that?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Katsuobushi is it's a bonito that's been kind of boiled and dried, inoculated with koji, smoked, and then it ends up into a really hard little loin, and then you shave it fine, and it's a base of a lot of soups, and it can also be a garnish in this case too.
You said it's bonito?
Yeah, bonito. Yeah, there's other varieties too. You can get like tuna and mackerel and things like that, but I think bonito is kind of the gold standard here. All right, so that one's just soy sauce. These little garnishes. The wasabi, it's really expensive, and but we can use it for garnishes and sashimi, which we'll see in a little bit as well. But you can use it for a lot of different applications. Another one you can use is just ginger. You can use ginger basically in the same exact way that you would use that one. Ginger sometimes is a little tricky to grate, and but we learned in the 3-day monk course a cool little trick for that. So this is a nice oroshigane like grater, but they have much more inexpensive ones at Wajimaya. And then basically take a piece of foil and really push it on there. The ginger has like a lot of fibers that can kind of get all mixed in with your grated ginger. But what you find with this foil trick, it's going to catch a lot of those fibers, and you end up with a much more smooth grated ginger. So that's one that we can, easily put on our kyayako tofu instead of the katsuobushi. So now to finish these cucumbers, what you do is, well, I guess we have some water here. You would just wash away all that salt. And in doing that, you'll remove all the saltiness, but you'll still have the effects of what the salt did in making these kind of nice and tender. Then from there, you just strain these off and then add your sweet vinegar, and then now you've got a cucumber tsunamono. And then you can also take all of these little ingredients that we put together here and top those off to finish the salad. You think that so we can bring you the fish now? All right. But now we'll get on to the main thing that we're going to do here, and that's the which you all get tastes of, and that's the albacore sashimi. Thanks so much. So I think this is the thing we could probably spend the majority of our time talking about today. Because it's sashimi, it seems quite simple, but a lot of times people struggle with getting the nice texture and the cuts on that. So this is our local Oregon albacore. I wasn't a huge fan of this fish until I moved to Oregon, and now I love it. But what you'll see here is like a really strong grain structure kind of running this direction. If you were to flip it over, you've got the same kind of grain structure, just kind of running the other way. So the tricky thing here is to figure out how do I cut this at what angle to make like really nice smooth cuts. And with this particular, this is a slicer. We use it in a much more kind of utility way. But I think that this is what this knife is basically designed for. And then essentially the cut is, so I don't know if you call that, we always debate this, is that with the grain, against the grain? But anyway, they run like this and then your knife goes like that, creating a perpendicular angle. And the steel port did really well. We sliced right through there. This albacore, if you were to cut, for example, let me see if I can even do that. Take it the other way, and then you've got your grains going now this direction. So if you were to follow that, you could do it. You just have to go like this. But I think what a lot of times you see is people will cut, so whether this is with the grain or not. So I can still do it. A lot of times it would just tear, but as you can see, now you've got all kinds of textural issues here, and you really, really feel that when you eat it as well. So then from here, you just cut, you pull it in towards yourself, and you've got your slice of albacore there. All right, who wants to come try it? So with these, what's that? That's the whole thing. Is when in terms of like when you're cutting, you can do. It's totally up to you. When we're doing a sashimi slice, generally, I think I look at it. I don't know if it's accurate, but I say in my mind it's like about 1/8 of an inch, and that way when people eat it, especially if you got really nice soft texture, people can get in there and they really they feel it in their mouth. You know, you can take in that soft texture, and then you feel like it's a generous slice too. A lot of people believe you should slice really thin. You can, but I mean, this is not the best fish to do it. But you can go much thinner and thinner, and then generally those ones you call suzukuri or like a super thin slice sashimi. That has a place, you know, as well. But I think for this particular fish, if you can nail that texture, it's really nice to kind of have like a little bit of a thicker slice, so you can feel that. So then, how are we gonna set this up? Ooh, thought I had a plate for this one. Basically, we're going to plate it as a sashimi. And then, you know, what do you do for your sashimi sauce? That's like always a tricky one. It feels like it needs to be really complicated, but it really doesn't. So this once again back to our koikuchi soy sauce. You can get at Wajimaya. And then we have, this is just yuzu juice. There's a lot of kind of fake ones or extracts and things added to it, but if you just get like a real yuzu juice, I think that is probably the best for this. And then you're essentially creating a really low complexity ponzu sauce or citrus soy sauce. In this case, we're going to go 50-50. Like I said, we can send over that recipe there, but it's half koikuchi soy sauce, nice one, half yuzu juice. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. So then for our plate up, and I went ahead and I kind of already made a version of this. So for our plate up, create a little bit of a stronger angle here. And here. And there. And that's right back to all of our condiment concerns as well. You can dress this up, dress it down. I think it's going to be really nice with a little bit of fresh wasabi here. Yeah. And I think that's probably as much as I would do on this one for the sashimi. But once again, if you don't have the wasabi, you can always use your fresh ginger. That's a great combination as well. And if you get this point, although I think that this 50-50 is like plenty salty, if you did want something a little bit saltier, then I think you can just add a little bit more of the koikuchi soy sauce here. So now, we have this, we have our tofu. I'll go ahead and bring these out. Your cucumber salad. That's a really good question because I feel like I get it and then I use it and it's gone. So I don't. Yeah, I generally haven't had the issue of it sitting on the shelf. But I think that with what I've learned from about the Oregon wasabi, which is pretty cool, is they have two different varieties. One of them is called the daruma, and that one's really sweet, and I think they do like incredible work with that. They have another one called the Mazuma, and if I were buying from Japan, I wouldn't give a preference to either one, but I would say that the one interesting thing about the Mazuma, from my experience, is it's extremely hardy. So that one, actually, I think someone told me they wrapped it in a wet paper towel, like in the refrigerator, and it started to sprout. So I think that one has like probably an excellent shelf life, the Mazuma. So maybe a few weeks or something like that.
So, and it's a renewable resource.
Potentially, yeah.
Grow your own wasabi.
Grow your own wasabi. So these are our three dishes. This one, same thing. We've got got this amazu. Cool thing about amazu is it's a base vinegar, and so you can bring the sweetness up, bring it down. We keep our sweetness really low on this one compared to a classic recipe. But the awesome part is you can also infuse a lot of other things into it. So examples, yuzu kosho. So that's the fermented yuzu skin, a little chili pepper. You can blend some of that into your amazu, and then you have a brand new dressing. Umeboshi, same thing. You can whip that up. Now you've got a Japanese apricot dressing. You can take that, add oil to it, and then you've got another dressing. So a lot of these ideas, you can really play with them and go wild as long as you have this kind of foundation. But kind of approaching it in that 3-day monk style, like kind of gets you there really quick because there's not a whole lot of complexity to any of these recipes, and they replace ones that we do that are like super complex. So it's kind of a little shortcut. So I think
You wouldn't let it sit in the vinegar, would you? Like
you
I don't know,
could.
from like a pickle.
You could, then it'd be
Yeah.
sort of like a pickle,
Yeah.
and you could definitely use this base as a quick pickle sort of recipe. So if you have something where you treat initially, drop it in there and you can store it as long as the city's where you need it to be. Then you can pickle it in that liquid too. That's a great question. Yeah. So I'm gonna start slicing little bites for everybody of these different things we have.
You're transitioning. Obviously, the fish itself is the most important ingredient. What do you look for when you're trying to find that perfect fish fillet?
Well, I mean, I don't like this. This one you can see. This is an Oregon albacore. In fact, this one was even frozen. But so with the Oregon albacore, a lot of times what you'll see is like kind of real, some kind of tan colors, gray colors, things like that. You see, this one's actually quite vibrant. It's got some like kind of red to it, and this is often what you'd find with a like if you were to get a fresh caught fish too, it kind of would have like more of these red tones to it. So I think that a lot of it is how you handle it. But when if you're at the grocery store, I think things you look for is well, I mean, first of all, I've gone to some grocery stores and you walk in the fish area and you're like, okay, I know I'm in the fish area. That's probably the first problem. And then the other thing is you want to make sure that you can't reach in and touch them, but you want to feel like firm flesh. Because when firm flesh, that means it's fresh. Everyone's really into the fish aging. Um, I'm not so much into that, but basically what fish aging does is it softens the flesh. So if your fish is aged in that case, when you touch it, it's going to be soft. A lot of fish you do want it to be firm. Like as you can see with this one, it's a soft type of fish, but the flesh is still quite firm. That's a great indicator. The eyes, if the eyes are clear and look, somewhat lively, that's good. If they're really gray, milky, or have blood in them, that's not so great. But yeah, those are good things. But in the case of a loin, I would say this is a frozen loin. Find people who are using, ones that are sourced in Oregon. Those are processed and flashed, so they stay really fresh as long as you thaw them properly. I'd say thaw them gently, and you'll have something. You'll have something good there.
You get them prepped like that, like already nicely.
No, so that's the part I didn't show here. so, so that's the part I didn't show here because that's it's maybe beyond the 3-day monk scope there. But essentially, this one, if you look a large tuna, the albacore is just a smaller version. So this one you have it's into 4 quarters or loins. This was a bottom loin here, and essentially it's got an area on the edge that's got tons of connective tissue running through it. And so that's maybe yet another trick, but it's really hard to demonstrate. But it would have been cool with a knife. Is you if you ride above that line, and then you can somehow stay like not lose too much meat to the bottom, but and not dip down into it where you start to get the connective tissue. And so that's what I do. I just like ride right in between that line, and then you get a really nice little loin here. So and then it'll improve the texture a lot. Yeah. Any other questions about what we're doing here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Dumb question. But like, do you look for flash frozen fish to deal with parasites in them when you're doing the raw preparation?
So there's ones that are have a tendency to be heavy with parasites.
Yeah.
Then those ones, yeah, you have to always make sure those are frozen, and then you at that point you just want to make sure that, like how they're frozen. Are they frozen at its peak, and then properly stored and things like that. There's certain, like a lot of times they say larger tunas, and there's like a particular list of ones that are not parasite prone. Our wild salmon here, that's one you really got to be careful with and watch out for. However, like the New Zealand like farm raised ones, those guys are doing an excellent job, and those are not really something you have to worry about too much. Yeah.
Do you look for certain thicknesses? That's what I find is like sometimes it'll be sushi grade, but it'll be like really thin. So would you still want to use that for sashimi, or you wouldn't even use that?
Thin, meaning like the
loin
like
is-
it's like this, but it was like much
Yeah,
thinner.
exactly. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I find is like
Oh.
finding the thick enough fish is hard.
Right. Yeah. So I think what happens when I think I know what you're talking about. Like I'll go to a place that's more like a kind of a consumer
Yeah.
fish shop, and because they want to create things that are like smaller portions, but sometimes it won't be portioned in like a very smart way.
Yeah.
Like for example, this wasabi, I've gone to a place and they had the fresh wasabi because you don't want to pay like $150. So how do you give someone this in kind of more of a consumer mode? And then I've seen it where they like took it and like cut it like that.
Oh, no.
And then and then I saw it and there was like this whole wasabi cut into these little rings in vacuum sealed. I was like, what's anyone supposed to do with that?
Right.
So, but I think that if it's just a thin fish, what you can do is you can kind of change your angle of how you cut it. It could get more complicated, but yeah, there are fish like if there's a flounder, hirame, those are extremely thin little fish, and you can just change your angle and slice them thinner, things like that. Or if it's also sushi grade, we can talk about another like cut thing, which is cool. Thanks for bringing that up. Is you can kind of cut it more into pieces like this.
The rolls.
Yeah, or even there's a dish called tataki. So here I'll just kind of on the fly kind of demo this. So if we were to take this and then I used it already, but basically you would take these and you kind of pile them up, and then this is more of a bowl kind of guy, but basically you would take these things and sort of pile them up like this. And then didn't bring it with me today, but if you were to take like shiso or things like that, you can actually just create like little garnishes, dress that up a little bit, and then you can. I think this would be a perfect example for that, like yuzu and soy mixture. And then you have like it's a tataki. A lot of times tataki that would have like sesame, miso, shiso, things like that in it. So
Tataki refers to the cut.
yeah, tataki means actually to kind of beat it up.
Okay.
So it can be anywhere from like slices to smash to then sometimes you'll see it referred to when it's seared as well. But yeah, the tataki or I think sometimes they call it namero. Namero is where you take like a really flavorful miso and it's cut like in the same way and toss it up like that.
Not that you need to demonstrate because I know it'll take a lot of fish, but how do you cut for rolls? Like
Rolls?
if you want.
Rolls is generally like usually they're scraps.
Oh, they are. That's fine.
So yeah,
But
so if
you wouldn't like cut like a perfect square. Or something.
you could, but I mean that's like really realistically when you go to a restaurant that has rolls, it's a function of scraps, right? So you can cut those into like a chunk like that if you want to have like a nice tataki. And I won't abuse this knife, but you can also just smash it up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about knives, we get a lot of questions about people coming and saying, "Well, which one is the perfect knife for this application or this person I know?" I think you demonstrated one single knife, which is a slicing knife, used for so many different applications. So, do you have a philosophy around the type of knife?
Yeah. Well, so I know a lot of chefs, they have their kind of like their drawer of like all the like, oh, my knives, the beautiful thing. I don't really do that. I tend to have one or two knives at a time. And they're ones that I really like. And in fact, as it's time for me to get a new knife, a lot of times it's hard for me to let go. Like I have a couple like ones that like I keep sharpening and they keep getting skinnier and skinnier. And I'm like, I can still use this. But no, then you have to move on. So I like to have just a couple knives that have a lot of utility. And yeah, that's what with this knife. That's kind of how I've had it. You can use this for peeling, for to an extent for chopping, and then definitely for slicing. But generally, I have one or two knives. Something a little smaller that I actually use for fish fab, and then I do have I have like a big old usuba that I use for vegetables. I still break that out, and then a slicer. That's pretty much it. And then I use when I have to replace one of them, then the next one comes in. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you're transitioning that one to single bevel. I also start with my STEELPORT single bevel.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. Okay. You noticed that. Well, because I was going to be here today slicing the albacore, I did a couple test slice with the kind of like factory edge, and I was like, this is good, but I was like, for my hand, I was like, I need to tweak this a little bit so I don't struggle with this at all, like while we're filming this. So yeah, all I did was I noticed a little bit small bevel, and I just tweaked the angle a little bit, and then I just flattened it out just a touch. And what I noticed is that then after I did a couple test slice on that, I could still do all those other functions that I was using the knife for that were there built, but then I could also get like a great angle on the slicing as well. So.
Yeah, I run my chef knife single bevel too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've converted a few like that were like a Messermeister. I took like a real hard angle and they flattened that out. So that was my chef knife for years. But yeah, I'm just used to the single bevel. So, but the STEELPORT knives are ambidextrous, right? So.
Actually, our mechanical department, original mechanical engineer, was left-handed. So as ACOM was working on this stuff, he was like, okay, I'm left-handed. So it's very important to both sides. We wouldn't be able to get it on the drawing if you.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's, I mean, just because I worked on this just a little bit last night. We was talking about changing the bevel, so it's also this it's really nice steel to work with too if you want to modify. Yeah. So everyone.
So you were talking about with connective tissue and the grain texture. After you sliced off and trimmed all the parts you don't want, how are you managing the extra tough connective tissue if you're dealing with only really fresh fish as opposed to aging it and letting that connective tissue?
So you can you scrape it and use it for other applications.
You scrape it out.
You scrape out in between the things. You can also cut them into chunks, and if you like, high temperature will modify it. So if you were to fry it, for example, a lot of times you would fry it and it would effectively soften that texture. But yeah. So everyone ready to taste some albacore? Or okay, let's do it.
Chef setting up. I'll give you a break to focus on. There was a lot of good questions going on. Chef is going to stay around here. We have a few minutes, and definitely, I'm sure all of you, like me, are waiting to test it out and go for it. But feel free to take a little bit of a time while the prep happening. If you haven't already RSVP'd, feel free to scan in and let Emma know in the back that you have done it, so you enter in this great drawing that we have here in person. Also, if you haven't got a chance to try the tonic water and the gin back there, it's a good time. Is afternoon summer in the world, so we are past that stage. And again, you're in the factory, so feel free to check out the knives and ask any particle questions you might have, and we'll just go ahead and, as the sampling goes on, answer your questions, giving you a tour type thing. So, any final questions or thoughts here?
How long will the yuzu last in the
In the fridge, it'll last a long time. Yeah, it's got a nice like high acidity to it. As long as you keep it cold, it should be good. Yeah, yeah. After we did our class, the 3-day monk, and I kind of turned everyone on to this. Someone on Amazon and found like a 1.8 liter of that. Yeah. Well, I asked him. I was like, "You want that?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I love this stuff." So I don't. I mean, maybe he's gone through it, but I think it's either way, it's still good. You know.
It's actually a pretty great cocktail mix.
Yeah. I mean, it's fabulous.
So feel free to back up, and I think we just keep up with Chef here with
Yeah. Anything.
the samples and things like that. I'm just going to move
Yeah, it's really
to in
samples
front,
around
and I think we probably should bring in some utensils for that, don't we?
Oh, actually, we have them.
I'll
Right
go
here.
ahead and there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Chef comes to prepare. So thank you for coming here, and again, stick around. We're going to be
Yeah. Thanks
around
everyone
with stuff
for,
and like
thanks
that.
for coming down. Yeah, it's great to have you. Thank you. Yeah, and dive in. I think I have a whole nother loin here, so it's definitely enough for everybody.